All right, so today what we're going to talk about some exact values from the unit circle. So we discussed how to set up the unit circle. We've talked a bunch about these exact values and how they repeat and how you can go through and fill this thing in and memorize it. Now we're going to talk about actually using this. That's what this focus is set up on. So we want to find first thing. So we're going to do sine of 225. Now something we want to add to this. Remember, the x coordinate tells you the cosine of your angle of rotation. The y tells you the sine, and y divided by x is how we find the tangent. Now, if we go through and we talk about secant, secant, cosecant, and cotangent. So the opposite of cosine is secant. Secant of the angle, I'm sorry, not opposite, I should say reciprocal. Reciprocal function is secant. So what we do is, since cosine is x, its reciprocal is 1 over x. The reciprocal of sine is called cosecant. It's CSC of our angle. And that is, since sine is y, is going to be 1 over the y value. And then cotangent is going to be the reciprocal of tangent. So that means the x will be on the top, the y will be on the bottom. So that's how we use this to find those. So let's measure out our angle of rotation. So 225 degrees positive. So 225 degrees positive points us to that point right there. There's our 225, nice and labeled. We want sine. Sine is the y coordinate. Y coordinate is negative square root 2 over 2. So this is negative root 2 over 2. We're done. That's what I'm looking for as our answer right there. Tangent. So we got to go and take this thing and put it back. Now we want to go negative 5 pi over 2. So we can go through and convert this. So 5 pi over 2. So if we go to convert negative 5 pi over 2, we want pi on the bottom, 180 on the top. So we're going to get 5 times 180, and we're going to divide that by 2. 5 times 180 divided by 2 is 450. And it's negative. So that means we're going to go backwards 360 and an extra 90-degree rotation. So 360 in an extra 90-degree rotation takes us down here. So I'll do that again. Negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360, negative 450 points us at that point right there. We want tangent, so we're going to have to do some division here. This one's not too bad. So tangent is y divided by x. So we get negative 1 divided by 0. Yep, we can't divide by 0, so that means this is undefined. That is the answer we are looking for that one. All right, secant, 405 degrees. So rotate 405. So that's bigger than 360. How much bigger than 360? It's 45 bigger than 360. So we're going to go all the way around the circle and 45 degrees. So we're pointing at that root 2 over 2. Root 2 over 2. Point right here in the first quadrant. Now secant's a little bit different. Secant is the opposite, or the reciprocal of cosine. So we're going to go 1 over the x. So when we do this one, it's going to be 1 over root 2 over 2. And we actually need to do some math with that to find its right answer. That's 1 over 1, and we're going to keep it, change it, flip it. That's going to put this 2 up here and the root 2 on the bottom. So we get 2 over root 2, which is unfortunate again, because we can't have that root 2 on the bottom down here. So we've got to multiply by the conjugate, which is just whatever on the bottom. We'll make it a fractional by itself, because that's equal to 1. So the answer we get is 2 root 2 on the top, and root 2 times root 2 is positive 2. Reason we have to rationalize the denominator here is we don't know what division by root 2 is, because root 2 is an irrational number. We have to make the bottom of this number rational in some way. So really what it is it's just a trick to get rid of the square root on the bottom, and we're essentially moving it to the top by multiplying the bottom by itself. Okay? Right, last one, cotangent of 3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2, that's 270, but we can see that on our filled in unit circle that we have now. So we're pointing down here again. Now cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So let's use this. We want to do x over y. So even though this is the same coordinate we used up here, because we're using a different trig function, we're going to get something a little bit different here. And this is where I like this x over y rather than 1 over sine or cosine or tangent for these things. So we're going to use x. So x is 0 over negative 1. Can we take 0 and divide it by something? Yes. If we all have nothing and we divide it up evenly, we still have nothing. So the answer to this one is 0. That's all there is to it. Reach out for some help if you need it.